So if you look at the criteria for judging, the first one, number one that they look at, can you say who in the striking or grappling aspect did better? Okay, now it's clear that Vieira did better in the grappling aspect in the third round. And it's clear that Yana did better in the striking. She landed way more strikes, even though a lot of them are not effective. It's just, touching or volume, if you want to call it. But you take a look and say, okay, what took place more? Well, it was actually the grappling. Like you're saying, the grappling of her having position. So then we look and say, okay, did we have damage? Yes, we did. We had some damage at the end of the fight when she landed good elbows, landed 3 of them. The cut, that's just a cleanly landed strike, we'll say, in the fact that it cut her. But the 3 elbows, they hurt. They were good, strong elbows. She was lighting her up there at the very end. So what was the most effective thing that happened in the round? Was it what Vieira was doing when she gets her back and she basically just holds on? She's controlling. The last thing that you look at in the judging criteria, because you'll go from striking and grappling, and if that's completely even, you'll go to aggression. Who was more aggressive in the fight? In the third round? Was it Vieira being more aggressive, or was it Yana being more aggressive? It was Yana. She was the one at least trying to fight. And then you look at the last thing, and that is ring or cage control, or the UFC would say octagon control. That's the last thing. If those other things are all even, they weren't even. What was the most effective element that happened in the fight? The judges got it right that if Yana had not gotten that last, we'll say 15 seconds, I doubt the judges would have gone with Vieira, would have gone with Yana. They would have gone with Vieira. But they saw the last 15 seconds. That was enough for them to say, I have someone trying to end the fight instead of someone trying to control the fight. In that trying to end the fight, she did more damage in those 15 seconds than what Vieira was able to do in 4 minutes. It's not about the amount of time that you control someone. It's about you trying to finish the fight. And that's what Yana was trying to do. And that's why she got the win.
You said that she was continuing.
Boy, that was long. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was. You lost me on all the percentage talk. No, when you start spitting out numbers, I'm like, math, no.
Oh, no.
No, I'm kidding. She was fight. She continued to fight because she was in the shittier position. So the argument we made that, of course, she had to get out of that. She had to fight harder to get out of there. When Vieira worked harder to get to that position, she's on her back. She did all the work already. She didn't need to do anything else. She needed to get there and then
try. She did. That was the problem. If she had done more,
she needed to
she did do more, she would have won the fight.
John,
her problem was she just controlled.
John, yelling over me doesn't make you more right.
Yes, it does.
It does not. No, I'm just saying that, look, she did all the work to get to the back, which is a finishing position. So I can look, like I said, in the beginning of this conversation, I don't care who wins. Okay, I thought it was a good fight back and forth. I had Vieira winning based on the fact that she did all the hard work to get to the back in the third round. It came down to the third round. She got to the back. She had already done all the technical work to get there. Now, don't get me wrong. I agree with you. She needed to do more effort, to put more effort in, and to try to get a rear naked choke. But I teach, or I train this or coach this with all the guys that I work with, fighters. And I say, look, if you're on the back, we are not trying to hit arm bars from this position. We are not trying to do anything else except rear naked.
End of the round, maybe.
Yeah, we're not trying to do anything but just a rear naked choke from here. We are not giving this position up for anything.
I agree.
Okay? And so I can agree that she needed to attack the neck more, which she did not do. But like I said, she did all the work to get there. You're saying that Yana she fought harder. Yeah, she fought harder because she was in a shittier position. You need to fight harder to get out of that position. That's the point of, I did all my work to get there. Now it's your turn to get out of this position. Otherwise, I could potentially sub you, or a ref could stop it, or whatever it is. But I'm winning this fight because I did all the work to get there. So as a fighter, I'm thinking, for me, I would have attacked a lot more. I agree. But for her and for a ref and a judge, I'm like, hey, this is a finishing position that a ref will never stand me up for because it is such a dominant finishing position. That is way more effective than like these little tiny body headshots.
Totally agree.
Okay.
Hold on. As far as your ability to finish the fight from that position is greatly enhanced by you attaining that position. But if you get the position and you do nothing with it, you don't attempt those rear naked chokes or anything at all, it's just a position. And in MMA, you don't get credit from the judges for a simple position. It's what do you do with the position? No different than a takedown attempt. I go to take you down. I double leg you. I bring you up here and boom, down, and you pop right back up. Is it a takedown?
That's different than me having your back.
You hold on. You hit the ground. You hit the ground, right?
Yeah.
Now the judges are, if depending upon the elevation that I get on you and how much impact you hit the ground with, the judges may give me some credit for it. But if you don't hit the ground hard at all and I don't get any elevation and you pop right back up, there was no takedown, because it's the same as the position means nothing without the attempts to finish the fight.
The difference for me, the difference is if I take you down and go right to mount, or if I take you down and get to your back, you're never going to stand me up from those two positions. In a takedown,
that's not true.
It's very rare, John.
I admit it's very rare. I can tell you, I stood up 2 fights from the mount.
That's just bad reffing.
Out of all of the ones that I did, and if I take you back to those fights, people will go, yeah, that was probably a good idea. But I can tell you, I've seen guys, Herb Dean, I've seen stand people up while they have someone's back.
Well, he's a questionable ref anyways.
I'm not saying that that's always the right thing to do. And most of the time I will absolutely take the side against it. But it does happen because you can be that person that gets that position and you do nothing with it. And it now is not a fight. It is nothing more than a control factor. You are someone trying to make clicks go off of a clock until you think you can get a win because you have the position. We've taken that out of something that is important in the judging criteria. The judges are not going off of that position. They're going off of what's effective. What are you damaging your opponent with? And if you get that position, they at least expect you with the back. You should be working towards ending the fight with that rear naked choke.
So the same can be said for the person whose back is taken, though. I've seen a lot of times where fighters just hold the wrist and then the opponent can't do it. The person on the back can't attack as well, only with one arm. It's a lot harder too. So the person who's just hoping for a stand up from that position by just controlling 2-on-1. So the same can be said for the other way around. So it really could come down to where Yana was also defending several times without doing anything, making sure she didn't get choked, and just hanging out there, and then moments of striking in those little moments to help open up space to get out. It goes both ways, I feel like, from that position. Like I said, we're
it doesn't go both ways from that position, because if Vieira had attempted rear naked chokes and it at least gotten even somewhat close, Josh, it doesn't matter what Yana had done, the judges would have gone with Vieira, but she didn't. Your job as the fighter is to attempt. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, but always be attempting to finish the fight. She wasn't.
There was moments there, I think in the beginning of the third round, she got the takedown and she was like in 3/4 mount or mount and she just stayed there. She didn't move. She didn't try to move. She just, but that ended up leading to her taking the back. So I was like, okay, well, I understand, because when someone is tired in the third round, you're waiting for them to exert a one big explosive movement so you can advance your position. So I'm going to be a blanket on you until you do that. And then when you do it, you're going to try so hard, I'm just going to let you go. I'm going to take your back or side control or hit whatever it is you're going to hit. But yeah, like I said, at the beginning of this conversation, I don't care who wins. I had Vieira winning slightly because of the dominant position from mount, also to the back, and then having the control there. I didn't think the last 15 seconds warranted the win, but realistically, I don't care. It's one of those, it was like, I like to engage in this type of conversation, because as a fighter, I would be thinking to myself, there's no way I was on this person's back for 3.5 minutes. What are you
Many fighters will feel that.
What are you talking about? And this is the reason why I engage. I play the devil's advocate a lot, because other fighters and people and homers at home are sitting there going, there's no way, because they have some of the same questions that I have. Like, hey, I'm a former fighter, and I'm thinking to myself, if I'm a young fighter, then you need to start paying attention to what you and I are talking about right now, because
Yes,
you can lose a fight like that where you thought you were dominating in the third round. I'm winning. No, you're not. And that's a rude awakening for someone, especially like if you have an undefeated record or you're 1 fight away or 2 fights away from maybe potentially getting a top 10 guy or a top 5 guy or whatever it is. Now that just shut you back down 2 or 3 more fights of tough fighters to get back into that conversation. So don't make that same mistake. That's really this is really why I have these type of conversations with you.
Yeah, no, it's exactly right. And it's something every fighter needs to learn. I know that, Vieira was kind of shocked when she lost because she looked at, I was controlling the fight. She's right. She was. It's not about controlling the fight. It's about winning the fight, damaging your opponent, finishing the fight. That's what they're looking for. You do those things, that's what's going to get you your win.